Parklands. Alright, so here we go. What's up, YouTube, and welcome back to another taxi cab confession story. And this time, I'm going to start you off with the best story ever. The craziest shit I ever seen in a taxi. And back in the day when I used to drive a cab, you would make a lot of cash. So you would make the cash, and I kind of had a little gambling problem, so I would go blow money. But not too big of a problem, because if I blew the money at the casino, what I would always do, I would do it on a Tuesday, because I would take off on Wednesday, and if I lost, I would drive the whole day to make the money back. So I was gambling one Tuesday night all the way till like 4 in the morning, and I blew like $300. And I was like, oh shit, man, I gotta try and make this money back. So then I come out, and I get a page off the radio, and I pull up at this house, and the dispatcher says that they're going west. And like, almost every time they said they're going west, it meant that they were going to the airport. It was like shorthand for airport, because that word wasn't short enough. So I pull up, and I'm waiting for these people to come out of this Airbnb. I wait like 20 minutes. They don't ever come out. Call the Airbnb, knock on the door. They're not there. So then I'm like pretty defeated. Lost all this money at the casino. Now I don't even get the airport ride, which was like $33 with tip, 40 bucks, you know, to try and recoup this money. So then I ride around a little more, and then I get a page on the radio, and I go to pick up at this like senior citizen complex where a lot of old people live, and I roll up, and it's raining, you know, and I pull up to go in there and pick the people up, and then there's this lady. She walks up to my window, and I roll down the window. I say, come on, babe, get in. You know, normally people walk up and they get in the cab, especially if they called it, but she's walking up to the window. So I'm thinking, I don't know, you know, she's just trying to hustle me or what the deal is, you know. And so I roll down the window, because they got a lot of bums around there, you know. So she rolls up, and she's like, and I said, yeah. I said, you called for the cab? She was like, yeah. I said, well, come on, get in. She's like, well, what's the name you got? She's like, who are you supposed to pick up? I said, look, they didn't give me a name, but they told me where you're going. She said, where am I going? I said, you're going west. She said, west? She said, is Lafayette west? And I was like, oh, it most certainly is. Now, you know, for the context of the story, Lafayette is 2 hours west of New Orleans. So I'm like, holy shit, you're going to Lafayette? So she gets in the cab, and then I call a dispatcher up, and I'm like, hey, you know, what's the price on the trip to Lafayette? And of course, the crooked-ass dispatcher was like, oh, you weren't supposed to get that load. That was for somebody else. And I was like, well, I'm already on the interstate, even though I wasn't. And the dispatcher was like, well, it's looks like it's $300. And I'm like, oh, shit, $300. Damn, I gotta get my money back. So then I go ahead and hit the U-turn, and I'm at the red light. And catty corner on the red light is the bus station in New Orleans. It's got a train station connected to it, you know. And, you know, it's Union Passenger Terminal. So I make a U, and then I'm at the red light in front of the bus station. The light turns green, and she's like, listen, how much is it? And I'm like, it's $300. And she was like, oh. She's like, well, don't go anywhere till I pay you. And I was like, okay. And the light's red, and then she hands me a $100 bill, so I know she got money. But then the light turns green. I start to drive. I already got $100 in my hand. You know, she ain't trying to beat me on the fare. And then she's like, wait, where are you going? I told you don't move until I pay you. And I was like, well, look, I mean, you already gave me $100. She's like, I said don't move until I pay you. And then so I was like, all right, fuck it. So I pulled over in front of the bus station, and I was like, all right, well, it's $300. So she hands me $350 total. And then I'm like, all right, cool, we're all set. She was like, yeah. So then, all right, we're going to Lafayette. So I turn on the interstate right there, boom, get up on the interstate. And then I'm driving. Now, I've been up all night in the casino. I ain't got no business driving 2 hours away, but I'm like, I gotta get this money back. So I'm sitting here on the interstate, and, you know, we get maybe about 5 miles outside the city, and then she's like, can you turn the natural heat on for me? And I was like, you know, what the hell does she mean by natural heat? Like, does that mean, like, put on the vent? Because, you know, it wasn't really cold outside, you know. I don't know why she wanted the heater, but I was like, look, I don't really know what you mean by natural heat. And then she was like, talking about the heater. And I was like, all right. So I put on the heater. And the worst thing about driving is with the heater on, I hate artificial heat. But whenever you drive, it dries your eyes out. And I'm trying to stay awake and just get this woman where she's got to go and get this money. And I was young in the cab at that time. So, you know, a little foolhardy. And, you know, I'm just kind of just going with it. And I'm real polite. And I haven't taken enough shit yet. So, you know, she's going to learn me. So I get up on the interstate, you know, we're cruising with the heater on, And then I'm thinking, I'm like, well, maybe she smokes, you know, because back then I used to smoke cigarettes. And I was like, all right, yeah, you know, maybe she smokes. This will be perfect. And so I asked her, you know, because if she smokes, then I'll smoke. And I was like, yo, you know, I said, hey, do you smoke? And she was like, I do not, and I would prefer if you didn't. And it's like, look, I didn't ask you if I could smoke. You know, I just asked if you smoke. That was going to be the next question if you said yes, but like, fuck. So I was like, all right, okay, cool. You know, no big deal, no big deal. We're just cruising with the heater on, you know, running up the interstate. And then the whole time she's back there, she's mumbling to herself, you know. She's like mumbling. And she's like rubbing her hands, and she doesn't really want to talk. And I don't really even know what kind of conversation I can start with her. You know, I can usually talk to anybody, but like I don't even know where to go with this old lady, you know. And so we're just sitting there cruising on the interstate, and she's mumbling, she's whispering shit. And I'm like, fuck, man. And I'm like, I just want to stay awake, and I can't talk to her because she's got a bad attitude. And fuck, what are we going to talk about? So I'm like, how the hell am I going to stay awake? And I can't smoke no cigarettes. So then I'm like, fuck, man, we're just going to drive. So I'm driving and like nod out a little bit, driving, and I'm like nod out a little bit, driving, and I'm like, oh fuck, man, I gotta get there, and then I fucking almost get there to Lafayette. And back then, this is early in the smartphone days, so when we're almost to Lafayette, I was like, you know, hey, where you going at in Lafayette? She said, the Greyhound bus station. I was like, wait. I just picked you, in my mind, I'm like, I just picked you up near a bus station. Yeah, it was 4 in the morning, so it was closed, I'm sure. But like, why wouldn't you just wait and take the bus? And this is in my mind. But I'm like, whatever, you know, you're going to Greyhound bus station. So I Google the shit, you know, and navigate it, boom. So then we pull up at the Greyhound bus station, which is, and Lafayette's a small town, you know, in, you know, medium, small, it's a small town, small country town. So then I pull over in front of the bus station. I'm like, all right, cool, this is the bus station. And she was like, this isn't it. And I'm like, no, this is it. She's like, no, this isn't it. And I was like, well, I mean, you know, what else could it be? This is it. I Googled it. And she was like, no, there must be another one. And I was like, wait, I don't think there would be 2 bus stations in the same town. Like, that just doesn't make much sense. You know, she's like, well, can you go inside and check and find out, you know, if there's another bus station where I need to be? And I was like, hey, you know, I'm curious, old lady. You know, my grandma raised me. You know, fuck yeah, I'll go and do it for you, whatever. You know, so I'll leave her in the car with the heater on, and I fucking run inside to go find out. I walk in, and, you know, I was like, hey, man, can you tell me where the other Greyhound bus station is in Lafayette? And he was like, well, I don't see why there would ever be 2 bus stations in the same town. And I was like, well, of course. I was thinking the same thing, but I figured I'd ask a dumb question. You know, so I'm like, all right, cool, you know, let me go find out. And he's like, well, listen, they just reopened the one in Opelousas, which has been closed since Katrina. This is in 2009. And I was like, oh, well, maybe that's it. Let me go back and see what she's saying. So I was like, look. You know, you sure this isn't the one? And she was like, yeah, because he said there's no other one in town. Oh, okay. Well, I said, this doesn't look like it at all? And she was like, well, no. You know, I'm trying to get to Reno, and I remember I was here yesterday, and it wasn't this place. It was a place that, you know, had a bus station, and it had a train station connected to it, and it had a lot of people like me outside. And I was like, whoa, what you mean people like you? And she was like, rubbed her arm, said black people. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, this don't look like this, you know, they definitely ain't got a fucking train, there ain't no black people standing out here. So let's see, you know, maybe it's some, what about Opelousas? You know, it just fell out my mouth. I was like, what about Opelousas? Guy said they just opened up the one in Opelousas. You think that could be it? Oh, Opelousas, that sounds familiar. And I'm like, all right. I said, so then I Googled the shit up, and it's like 45 miles away. And I was like, well, shit, man, 45 miles. She paid me extra $50. I said, I just want to get this lady where she's going so I can get the fuck home. You know? So I was like, well, if she's sure about Opelousas, then fucking come on, let's go. All right, so we go check it out. So we ride up the interstate, you know, boom, another 40 miles, whatever. Get off at the exit. The GPS tells me to turn left, you know, underneath the interstate. And then come out on the other side, and it says it's right on the left-hand side. So then I'm like, all right, you know, what's here? Just a Shell station. And I'm like, that's just a Shell station. There ain't no train station and, you know, connected to it. It's a Shell station. So I was like, well, I said, the GPS says this is it. You know, maybe we should stop. Oh, no, don't stop. I recognize this road. Keep going up this highway. I remember this Sears. I remember this, you know how America looks. All these fucking strip malls. She's like, yeah, I remember this. I remember that. Just keep going, keep going. I said, all right. And she's mumbling, she's hissing, she's fidgeting with her hands. And this is, we're riding, you know. I'm just like, just waiting for her to tell me this is it, you know. And we're riding, and then the highway dead ends. And then you can only go left or right. And all I got is this fucking country back here, you know. And I'm like, yeah, I go right or I go left. And I'm like, tell me something. She didn't tell me anything. So I said, hey, you know which way we're going? She didn't say anything. So then I just made it right. I was like, fuck it. You know, go right, I guess. You know, maybe she'll say something. Maybe she went left, so I make it right. She's like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Why'd you turn right? I said, oh, we were supposed to go left? Great. So now I'm excited because, you know, by her saying something, it sounds like she knows where the fuck she's going. So I'm like, all right, cool. So, you know, I make the U-turn in the Sonic, start going up this country-ass road, you know, just 2 lanes, and then I'll start passing. You know, I'm going about 5 miles up the road, and you see a church and a fucking farm and some cows and shit. And so I'm like, well, fuck, man. Where the hell is this busted? There ain't no way Greyhound gets this far off the interstate and goes way the hell up this road to go pick anybody up. There ain't no way. So I was like, after about 5 miles, I'm like, oh, man. Are you sure we're going the right way? And she was like, oh, wait. Where are you taking me? Oh, my gosh, she just freaked out. She's like, where are you taking me? And I was like, well, you told me to go this way. She's like, I most certainly did not. She's like, I don't know where you're trying to take me. I said, look, calm down now. I made a right. You said, no, you're supposed to make a left. I made the U-turn, which is the same thing as making the left in the first place. Now we're on this country-ass road. She's like, this isn't it. She's like, I don't know where you're trying to take me. I said, whoa, 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 calm down. I said, you're going to the Greyhound, right? She's like, yeah, I'm going to Greyhound. I said, okay, I know right where it is. So then I U-turn, and I'm like, I'm going to take her back to the Shell station right here that said it was the Greyhound. And it's probably got a Greyhound connected to the motherfucker. You know, like they pick up at the gas station in the middle of nowhere. So maybe she could sort out her ticket to Reno from there, you know. So I drive back up and get back to the Shell. Now she's irate, you know. And she's flaring up in the back seat, you know. It's like fucking reverse driving Miss Daisy over here. And then fucking I roll up into the gas station, pull up. And the whole time I got the heater on. I ain't smoked a cigarette in 3 hours. I'm like, motherfucker, man. So then I pull up. And then I'm like, okay, here's the deal. You run inside, make sure this is the place you need to be. I'll be outside, smoking a cigarette, and, you know, just come out and let me know you're all good. She was like, all right, because, you know, we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. So, you know, I get out, thank God, turn this heater off. She goes inside, you know, I spark me up a fucking Marlboro. You know, I'm like, oh my God, this is the best cigarette I ever had in my whole life. And I'm sitting there. Come on, I'm looking at her, talking to the cashier in the window. I'm smoking a cigarette. And I'm like, come on, this has got to be it. So then they got to figure her shit out. So then she comes out. She's like, yes, we got to go up this road. Now, look, we got the interstate right here. We're at the gas station right here. And she's telling me to go up the service road, where they'll have the interstate on our right and then shit on the left. So I was like, wait, you want me to go up that service road? She's like, yeah, that road right there. And I'm like, okay, and then what? And then she was like, and then it'll be on the right-hand side. And I'm like, look, there's not going to be anything on the right-hand side. Because on the right-hand side is the interstate. And all we're going to do is run right into another highway, because that's the way the highway system works in America. And so I'm pretty sure that's not it. No, that's it. Take me up that road. She's like, I already paid you. Come on. And I was like, all right. I had enough. But in my mind, I was like, you know what? Give her one more. Give her one more, I told you so, and then I'm done. You know, I always go for the one more. So I'm like, benefit of the doubt, one more, and then I'll rub it in real good. Come on, let's go. So she gets in the car, ride up the fucking service road. I'm looking on my right for this fucking train station, bus station connected to it with all the black people outside, and she's like, just back there humming and shit, and guess what happens? We run right into another highway. Just like I knew it was going to happen. And then what? We're at a fucking 4-way stop. We drive across and keep going up the service road, make a right or a left, and there's a Lowe's over here on the left. So I pulled up at the stop sign and I said, look, I told you we were going to run into another highway. What do we do now? You know? Here's my I told you so moment. And I was like, what do we do now? And she was like, that's it. I'm not paying you another dollar. Not another dollar. You know, I already gave you $250. And I'm getting out this cab. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Don't get out this cab. We're at a stop sign in the middle of nowhere on a service road in fucking nowhere. And so she gets out the cab. And I was like, holy shit. Old lady in the middle of nowhere. Fucking, this is bad right here. This I told you so is backfiring on me real quick. So I open up the door. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. I said, listen, babe, you got to get back in the cab. Come on. We're in the middle of nowhere over here. She's like, nope, you're not getting another dollar from me. You already got $250 from me. You're not getting another dollar. And she starts storming across the service road. I was like, come on, you got to get back in the cab. Come back, come back. Would not come back. So then I look across the street. I jump back in the cab. Made sure she made it across the street. She's in the Lowe's parking lot. And I look across the street, and I see a cop. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to go tell this cop. So I roll up on the cop. I was like, look, you got some crazy old lady in front of this Lowe's right here, and I don't think she knows where she's supposed to be. You might want to look into that. He was like, all right, cool. And so I rolled out, you know, and then, like, I get on the interstate, and then I'm, like, going to head back home, but then I'm like, wait a minute. Let me get off at this exit and find out what the hell she told these Shell people. Did they send her up this road? Is this the right way? You know, like, I'm pretty sure it's not. But yeah, I just got to find out. I can't drive all the way back home without talking to people at Shell. So I go back to Shell, and I walk in there, and I was like, they're like, can I help you? I said, yeah. You know that lady, that old lady that was just in here talking? I was in the cab outside smoking a cigarette. Yeah. Did y'all tell her that she was supposed to go up this road to go? Well, what did she even ask you? And they were like, oh, well, she walked in. She asked, is this the Greyhound bus station? And I said, yeah, this is the Greyhound. It picks up here. And she said, oh, I'm trying to go to Reno. And then I said, okay, well, you know, this is where it picks up. You know, do you have your ticket? And she's like, no, I have to go get it out the car. And she walked out. Fucking, that's where I picked her up again and got her in the fucking service road. And I was like, you have got to be shitting me. That's what she said? Yeah, that's what she said. I'm like, oh my gosh. So I went back, got back in the car, and I'm driving, just trying to put the pieces. I've been up for like fucking 24 hours, and now I'm trying to drive home. Got my 300 back though, and 50. And so I'm like, what the heck happened here? You know, this doesn't make any sense. So then I'm driving back, and I'm like, man, you know, and then it all clicked for me. I was like, holy shit. I picked this lady up downtown, a block away from the bus station, with a train station connected to it, where a lot of homeless people hang out. And most of them, predominantly, are black. So I was like, holy shit. She needed to go a block away from where I picked her up. She was on Loyola Street. Across street is Lafayette Street. So I'm like, holy shit, she's seen Lafayette Street, and she was thinking about Lafayette the city, and fucking handed me $350 go in the middle of nowhere. And I was like, you got mind fucking blown right there. And I was like, just drove home, and I was like, oh my god, that's the craziest shit I ever did see. But I was happy I got my money back. But man, that one fucking blew my mind. And that story right there has been the best cab story that I ever did here. If you enjoyed the story, check it out down below. I got links to my Patreon. You know, make sure you drop a subscribe, like, comment, share. You know, get some more people if you enjoyed the story, and we'll share it out. And thanks for tuning in. Y'all have a good one.